The latest information from the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees indicates escalating human rights violations in the region, especially the crisis in Burundi, leading to another refugee crisis for Uganda. United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, Associate External Relations Office in Uganda, Charlie Yaxley, says the agency recognizes a steady influx of the refugees to Uganda in the last few months.
Currently we're still receiving around 150 to 250 refugees coming in every single day, and we expect that by the end of the year, if current trends continue, more than 330,000 Burundian refugees will have left the country.
With the political tensions showing no signs of abating, observers worry that the economy could worsen, hence further displacement, and making return conditions less favorable. Human rights reports also retaliate a surging trend of human rights abuses that Yaxley says should be capped down to allow enjoyment of civil liberties.
We're receiving reports from refugees that they're having difficulty crossing borders. This is especially true for those that don't have papers. Seeking asylum is a fundamental human right, and we urge all countries to maintain channels to asylum, open borders, in order that the Burundians may seek refugee status.
United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, however, attributed the growing concerns on economic conditions despite efforts to neutralize the political disturbances. It's indicated that East African countries continue to show generosity to massive Burundian refugees, with Tanzania with around 135,941 refugees, Rwanda 76,404, the Democratic Republic of Congo 22,204, and Uganda 24,583 refugees. This is a large influx, more challenging.
The neighbouring countries have been exceptionally generous in accepting these Burundian refugees, especially in light of increasing numbers simultaneous to decreasing space. The conditions to accept these increasing numbers, the resources are becoming more and more stretched. So we commend the generosity of the neighbouring countries for accepting and continuing to accept these Burundian refugees.
United Nations reported that more than 400 people had been killed and more than 250,000 fled the surging violence in the Burundi since the violence broke out. Reports of an uproar have been reported in the last 2 days in Burundi, though the UNHCR is non-committal on the reception of any Burundian refugees in Kisoro and Nakivale refugee settlements. Efforts to reach out to the Burundi's ambassador, His Excellency Jean Bosco Barege, were fruitless due to a tight schedule. United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees is seeking almost 175.1 million US dollars for its Burundi crisis operations this year, but has received only 47.8 million US dollars to date, or some 27%. Aran Stavarka, WBS Television.